It's been pretty clear to me since I started my Etsy shop that there's one item that I very rarely am able to keep in stock, and that is milk glass. Milk glass, I feel like, has steadily been growing back into popularity over the past 5 to 3 years, and it seems to be stemming mainly from events such as weddings, bridal showers, wedding showers. That's where I've seen people are using a lot more milk glass, but also just decorating with it in their own homes. So for me, it has been the number one product to sell on my Etsy shop. It's been the most popular item. Again, I have all sorts of different type of styles and designs as far as what the milk glass looks like. And a lot of them sell out. I even offer a mystery box of different matching ones that you can get, or mismatched ones you can get, of anywhere from 2 to 5 milk glass vases. And I've even sold some of those. So it's been really awesome to see how successful milk glass is. But yeah, it's been one of those things where it's like kind of a phenomenon-based thing where more and more people are using these vases to decorate once again. And that's caused them to be a lot more popular for vintage shops. Now, one of the things that I do to help kind of advertise these different things on my Etsy, I don't do paid ads, but what I do is I try to be very detailed in my tags and also in my titles of my items. For the titles of the milk glass items, because I know a lot of people are using these for weddings, I oftentimes will put wedding decor, wedding centerpiece, or something like that in the description for my milk glass vases. That way, if someone is searching for that type of stuff, these can come in the searching. Even if they don't know that they're looking for milk glass, but it just comes up when they're looking for wedding decor and they realize, I like that, or I've seen it before at another person's wedding, I want to do it as well. I have just seen really great response from doing that, so I highly recommend, if you're selling milk glass, to do the same. Oftentimes what I've heard when I've gone to, like, let's say a vendor event and I set up a whole milk glass display because I love milk glass and I know people love it too, I will have older women stop by and say, "Oh my goodness, my mom decorated her whole house with milk glass. I haven't seen these since I was a kid." And it's just so cool to me to hear that. For me, selling vintage is very close to my heart just because I have great relationships with my grandparents, and only my 2 grandmothers are still alive and with us today. But I always loved hearing their stories. And to me, vintage and just these older items carry with it a story, and I just love to be able to get to hear that story, especially if I'm at a live show and I am talking with people and it brings back a memory for them and they can tell me that. It's so meaningful, and I think that's what makes it so awesome to be able to be a part of the Etsy community and also the vintage community, because we're really bringing a story back to life when we sell these vintage items. And when we find these vintage items, it's storytelling in essence, and I really do love that aspect of my small business. So if you are a vintage seller and you're not selling milk glass, I highly recommend starting to add that into your repertoire, into your inventory of different things. There's plenty of things that are very popular, like brass, super popular. Even silver stuff is popular once again, but a lot of gold, like gold frames and different things that are older looking and vintage, those are really popular right now. And milk glass is just one of the things that happens to have popped off for me. For every Etsy business owner, it's going to be a little bit different, but again, I highly recommend, if you're not selling milk glass, to think about doing so. You can oftentimes find it at your local thrift stores like Goodwill or your rehome stores, wherever, and it's pretty cheap to get, and I usually mark it up to around like $14.99 for different vases. If it's a smaller vase, it'll be cheaper, but there's so many different ones and a lot of different designs, and they're very beautiful. You can design them up, you can decorate them up really well with pretty flowers. Since they're white, they just stand out so much. But yeah, I highly recommend checking out adding milk glass to your inventory. Now I want to share what I've sold in the month of February really quick with you. So one of the things that I did sell was a milk glass vase. I can almost always guarantee milk glass is going to sell pretty much every single month. I haven't really been adding any milk glass in the past month or two, and I'm running low. So I'm going to be looking for some more, and maybe even some cute designs that I've never had in my shop before, because I feel like every time I go out to a thrift store or to an antique mall, I'm seeing a new type of milk glass vase that I've never seen before, which I love. You do have to hunt for them though. Sometimes you find ones that are not in great shape, and sometimes you find ones that are marked up a little bit too much to be comfortable trying to resell it. So you do have to be on the hunt for them. But yeah, I sold this milk glass vase that had this like hobnail design. I loved it, and I had two of these, but the person who bought it only purchased one. So I was really happy to see that one go on to its new home. The next thing I sold was a set of German stamps. So this is something that I've actually been able to do with my uncle. He is like a stamp collector, and he has so many stamps, like over 1 million stamps, no joke. And so he's actually given me some to put on my Etsy shop to see if they can sell. And we've sold a few, so that's been a really fun like little partnership with him. It kind of fits the vintage vibe for me since a lot of them are vintage. So I sold actually 2 sets of German stamps for him this past month. So I sold one set just by itself, and then the other set was with 2 other items, and that was this beautiful Beatrix Potter like Easter little like vase. It was so cute. I loved it. It's perfect for Easter. And with that, I also sold a little English Meadow, I believe it was Corningware creamer pitcher. Super cute. I had had it for a long time, so I was really happy that that sold. So that all sold together to one person, and it was just a cute little bundle haul. I was like, this all goes well together, so it was gorgeous. The last thing I sold for the month of February was this adorable little jewelry case. It was just this beautiful French blue one, and it had this gold design on the top that was a rose, and it was something that my sister had given me. It had velvet red in the inner part of it, so I'll show pictures. But yeah, it was really, really pretty, and so many people had favorited this on their on my Etsy shop, so I was surprised that it lasted for as long as it did. I definitely thought it was going to be an item people would buy for Christmas as like a Christmas gift or something, but yeah, it sold, so I was happy to see that. So that is everything that sold for me in the month of February. It was a pretty good month. Mainly most of my sales came towards the end of the month, and I've seen that as a little bit of a trend recently. I don't know why, but just like the start of the month is slower, and then towards the end of the month the sales kind of stack up together. Either way, happy to get sales no matter what. I'm really excited for the month of March because Easter is just around the corner, and I always love to add a lot of Easter flair. I'm also excited for the month of March because it is my 1-year anniversary as an Etsy shop. So I started my Etsy back in March of 2023, and it was just after a job change, and it was really just something where I was finding a lot of purpose in it after kind of losing myself a little bit in my previous job, and so it was really helpful for me to do it. It was a hobby. I was able to take my mind off of things and just kind of focus my creativity on this new outlet, and I have loved it every step of the way. There's been ups and downs, obviously. Anytime you own a small business, it can be that way, but I would say overall I've been blown away by the amount of love, success that I've seen from it. And it's not like something where I'm like, I'm making hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, but it is a nice little side hobby that I have that I really do enjoy as a creative outlet. And it's been, again, really helpful for me to kind of find myself again, if that makes sense. I'm sure many of you can relate to that if you own your own Etsy shop. It's a great creative outlet and just really gives you the time and space to be you, which I really, really appreciate. So over this course of being open for a year, which will be on March 4th, I've made 65 sales, which is really awesome, and just over $1,500 on my Etsy shop. I keep track of everything on an Excel spreadsheet so that I know what my profit is and how much to mark things up and all of that. And maybe in a future video I'll explain kind of how I mark things up and how I price things and what I look for store when I'm going outsourcing, and all of the different tips and tricks that I have found along the way, and honestly learned from YouTube and other YouTubers who also own vintage stores or Etsy shops or whatever it may be. There's so many great ones. Laura Caldwell was probably on repeat for me when I first started my Etsy shop. I love her videos so much, and I learned so much from them. So I hope that these are helpful for you as well. And if you are needing more fun content in the vintage realm, I highly recommend checking out Laura and some of her fun videos. So yeah, make sure and subscribe if you are not already, and like this video. And also, if you do own an Etsy shop or a vintage store, please put it in the comments. I'd love to check it out and give it a follow. I love supporting other small business owners, especially in the vintage realm. It's just so fun to do that. And I may have a video planned later down the line of shopping from some vintage stores. So there's a little teaser for you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye!